We have the White Mare before Christmas. So we've got Skull Servant support in Alliance Insight. First of all, we've got Moisa White, or One More the White. I don't know exactly what the name is going to be. Level 1 Dark Zombie Effect Monster. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. This card's name becomes Skull Servant while in the graveyard. Now that's obviously relevant for King of the Skull Servant. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the game plan of Skull Servant is still to make a big ass King of the Skull Servants, right? That is still their thing, right? They don't do much other than that. They just summon a king with a bunch of attack points and attack the opponent. All right. So this obviously being named Skull Servant in the graveyard will help. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add a Skull Servant or a card that mentions it from your deck to your hand, except Moisa White. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn, except zombie monsters. During your main phase, you can normal summon a level 4 or lower zombie monster in addition to your normal summoner set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. Okay, now that seems like a very good card. And I feel like that is not a very hot take, because everyone reading this card would know that, okay, that is a good effect. The only thing, the golden question is, does it make Skull Servant good enough? Which I don't know. But that is a very good card, because you can just normal summon it, search for everything you want, and then extra normal summon that. That's pretty good. Then we've got White Master, which is a continuous spell card. If your King of the Skull Servants attack a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. Ooh, that's cute. I'm sure that solves a problem for the deck, because some decks would be able to hide behind defense position monsters. Okay. Once per turn, you can target a Skull Servant or King of the Skull Servants in your graveyard, send a Skull Servant or a monster that mentions it from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon that target, but you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn except zombie monsters. That also seems good. I mean, I know that some of them have graveyard effects. I don't know exactly what they do, but I know that some of them have graveyard effects. I know that some of them have graveyard effects. I don't know exactly what they do, but that is probably a good thing. Both of those cards. Yeah, that's kind of cool. The Skull Servant deck is probably not going to be meta relevant anytime soon, even if it gets access to 2 new pretty solid cards. But I don't mind this support at all. This seems cool. And I mean, something's gonna have to replace Tenpai at some point. Now with Tenpai being slaughtered on the list, I guess having access to other kind of okay-ish going second decks is gonna be fun. Thoughts on the Dragon Rulers? We're gonna get to those in a moment. We're gonna talk about the Dragon Rulers. All right. We have Heraldic Beasts support. I don't know how many, but we'll see. Heraldic Beast Griffin, level 4 Winged Beast effect monster. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. You can send a Heraldic Beast monster from your deck to the graveyard, except Griffin. Special summon this card from your hand. Also, you can... Wait, that's circular. Special summon this card from your hand. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck except Xyz monster, using only monsters with Heraldic Beast and or number in their original names as material. This card can be treated as 2 materials for the Xyz summon of a number monster that requires 3 or more materials. Okay, so the first question is there a Heraldic Beast that has a good graveyard effect? Because I don't know off the top of my head. Leo? Okay, let me check Leo real quick. Heraldic Beast Leo. Oh, I've seen this guy before. Hold up. Heraldic Beast Leo. During the end phase of the turn, this was normal summon. Destroy this card. When this card is sent to the graveyard, add a Heraldic Beast from your deck to your hand. Okay. Now that is pretty good. So you special... Wait. But this says... Wait, oh, it's mandatory. Okay, I for a second I thought it was gonna miss timing because it says when. but because it's mandatory, that will not apply. Okay. Okay. So you can just special summon this guy by sending Leo from deck to the graveyard, and then you search a card. Is that even once per turn? It is once per turn. Okay. I mean, that's good. The lock on it is pretty strict compared to Circular, to be fair. Like, let's be real. Circular didn't really have a lock on it. Because being locked, but what does it say? You can only attack with one monster, which doesn't matter because your Firewall Terahertz has 11,000 attack anyways. And it also locks you into Cybers, I think, which also doesn't matter because you're playing a Cybers deck. This lock actually does matter, right? Heraldic Beast Stat Whale. Level 4 Water Fish. You can only use the first and second effect each once per turn. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can discard a card, add 2 Heraldry spells traps from your deck to your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 2 Heraldic Beasts with the same name in your graveyard, special summon them in defense position, also can't special summon from the extra deck, blah blah blah, same restriction. Okay, that is also a card with a good graveyard effect. You could also sometimes be sending this off of the Griffin. Stat Whale has pretty underwhelming stats. For a card called Stat Whale, it is true. You are correct. That is pretty underwhelming stats for a card called Stat Whale. Okay. Number 69. Wait, there wasn't the number. Is this there was not a number 69? I thought we had every number. They made number 69 now, finally. Finally, it's here. There was. Oh, there's 2 number 69s now? Hold up. Number 69 Yugioh. Oh, there was. They made a second one. I've seen this one before. Yeah, this is the smaller version of this. Heraldry Crest. Alright, so we've got 2 number 69s now. Nice. Rank 4 Light Psychic needs 4 level 4 monsters. Wait, does this 3 or more materials? Okay, so alright. You can also Xyz summon this card by using a monster you control whose original name is number 69 Heraldry Crest, and that requires 3 monsters. Okay. When a monster effect is activated on your opponent's field or an opponent's monster declares an attack, quick effect, you can special summon a number 69. Oh, there's 3 69s. All right. You can special summon a number 69 Heraldry Crest Dark Matter Demolition from your extra deck by using this card you control as material, then destroy that monster. Okay. So this is, you summon this and then it ranks up when your opponent does something. Okay. And that is a rank 4 Light Psychic. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Once per turn, quick effect, you can detach a material from this card, then target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Its name is treated as unknown. When a monster effect is activated by your opponent, resolves. If that monster's name is unknown, negate that activated effect. Okay, now I haven't seen this kind of effect before. That's kind of cool. It's weird because I'm thinking like, okay, hear me out. This is a very cool effect, I think. My problem with this is that all the things you have to go through to summon this guy feels like it makes it very underwhelming, no? Because, like, you're gonna... Okay, look, first, you're gonna have to summon this. Right? Which requires 3 level 4 monsters. Like, okay, if you use something like the Griffin, which can be treated as 2, then 2 monsters. Alright? 2 monsters to summon Heraldry Crest. And then you can just summon Shatterstream Heraldry Crest on top of that. And then you still have to wait for your opponent to declare a monster effect. And then you can rank this up into this. and then you basically have a Dragostapelia. Read the next card? I'm gonna read the next card. Can I evaluate the card that I've already read first? Like, yeah, this card probably makes it better, but like... Medallion Flash, quick play spell. Target any number of face-up monster your opponent controls. Their names are treated as unknown. During your end phase, if this card's in your grave and you control a psychic, you can set this card but banish it when it leaves. Okay, yeah. Now this card is impermanence when this is on the field. This card is still underwhelming for all the things you have to go through to make it. It is not bad, but for it to be like the entire gimmick of the deck, it feels only okay. Like, I feel like it's too convoluted. It's more like a quick play Dark Ruler. The thing about these kind of, like, you guys, what you have to realize, I feel like people always evaluate these kind of cards in the most optimal scenario. Like, yeah, if your opponent summons 5 monsters, you can use Heraldry Flash. They're all unknown now, and they're all negated. The problem is that with these kind of cards that can, in theory, hit multiple things, in practice, what's going to happen is your opponent is going to know it's there, and they're just going to force it with 1 or 2 monsters. It's the same thing as saying, like, oh my god, my opponent made a Desiree with Sequence and Agnum Day attached to it, so they can negate 5 cards. Like, no, it won't. It'll negate 1 or 2 cards maximum, because that's all it takes to force those interactions. Right? So, like, no, Desiree with Agnum Day and Sequence equipped will not negate 5 cards, alright? That is not what it does. In practice, in a real Yu-Gi-Oh game, it's gonna negate 1 or 2, because that's all it takes to force one of those interactions. And that's how Yu-Gi-Oh works, okay? So this card, even though it can, in theory, if it resolves, negate like a bunch of cards, you're gonna use this card like imperm most of the time. Maybe you can in a solid matchup that doesn't really have a way to force it, you can snipe like 2. So like, it's not bad. It's not bad, but if the end board of the deck, what I'm seeing with the new cards, I'm sure there's more to it. But like, if you end on Dark Matter Demolition and Heraldry Flash, you can basically negate 2 monster effects, because this is going to negate a monster effect and this is going to negate a monster effect, which is not bad, but it's not crazy. And you're playing Heraldic for that. So, am I willing to play Heraldic for that? Probably not, but it's not terrible. The spells in this deck are custom. I mean, a lot of decks have custom spells, and that doesn't make them meta relevant. It's not bad by no means, but I don't know if it's gonna make it top tier. And you also have to factor in that you have to. This is 3 extra deck slots as well, which does matter in these sort of like Xyz toolboxy kind of strategies, right? Having to play, this is 3 extra deck spaces for 1 card basically, and you're probably gonna have to prepare for, like, you're probably gonna have to prepare to do it multiple times in a game, because if this is the entire gimmick, then what if they can remove your Dark Matter Demolition, right? Like, you're gonna probably have to play multiple copies of each, because think of it this way, this card does nothing if you don't have this card. So if your opponent just outs this card is also dead. So a single Book of Moon is going to turn off both of your things in just 1 hit. It's not dead. I mean, okay, you can activate it, but it won't do much. Change name is massive for some decks, but not reliable. Not for most decks, it's not. For most decks, it's not crazy. Stop being realistic. Okay, I'll stop being realistic. Heraldic Beast is the best deck now, guys. It is. I mean, the only deck that can probably rival Heraldic Beast now is Sharks, I think. Anything else is probably not playable anymore after this support. All right, like it's either Sharks or Heraldic Beast, and nothing else is playable.